Okay then, so the final of the ladies will be on the streaming table very soon. This is why we've had a slight break in play here. The stream just got restarted. I'm not actually sure who won that game between Sophia Pinelli and Kerry Lowe, but the fact that Fia just got a big hug from Sarah Davidson tells me that she might have won that match. So Kerry through to the semi that we can see, and unfortunately that is as far as she goes. I think Alima's just finished his game against Tristan as well by the look of it, and I don't know who's taken the card up, because that's what all we have to rely on at this point is the eyewitness account. I think Paul's just hanging out downstairs having a look at how the play went. Shah, you must have been closer to the action than I was, so you had a better idea. I know that it went 3-all, I know that much, and then who won that last frame wasn't clear. But from all accounts it will be Sophia Pinelli versus Trish O'Neill in the final. We just need to, obviously, for that game to be loaded up, and we can be on our way once again.
There's just the one quarter still going.
So over in the main event there is one quarter final still underway, and that's Paul Blackler versus Shane Brecken. When I left, which was about 5 minutes ago, it was 2-1 to Paul. The other three have finished, so Danny Bowen through against Devon Bramley, and Chris Geary over Alan Robertson, so they are our first two semis, and Tristan over Alima, so it will be Danny Bowen versus Tristan Matheson in one semi-final, and Chris Geary versus the winner of Paul Blackler and Shane Brecken's match for your other semi-final. So both Trish and Sophia play out of...
Trish is representing Kaiapoi.
Well, actually, no, that's not true. Trish is representing Kaiapoi. I know that Trish has been long-term Richmond player, but for this tournament, if not more than that, she's playing for Kaiapoi.
I don't know what they're racing to or whatever.
I do hope, we don't know what these ladies are racing to in the final, but I do hope they make it a race to 5, because ladies have been playing race to 4 all day in post-section play, and I really would like to see the final get an extra frame, because that's, I mean, it is the final, isn't it? It does...
Just see that.
Okay, so Tracy's decided to keep it as a race to 4.
I don't know if it's Tracy or the girls, because sometimes they give them the opportunity.
So she might have actually asked the players, "What do you want to race to 4 or do you want to race to 5?" And if that's the case, and they've chosen a race to 4, which is all good with me. So hopefully this gets a good following too, because the ladies deserve their time. We haven't seen a lot of the ladies being played on the stream table, actually, to my knowledge. But it's good that Tracy has jigged today to allow the ladies to have their moment on the stream table in the final.
I think we had one match in each session yesterday, which was ladies.
Okay.
As well.
I think it will be Nicole Wright to referee this match as well. There she is, just to the right of centre with the card, just talking to Tabitha there, which would be fitting, wouldn't it, to have Nicole refereeing this final, not just because she's a lady, but because she knows these two players quite well. It's always good when, as a referee or an official, you know the players well as people, so you know, obviously you're bound by the rules of the game, but also at the same time you can kind of personalise it a bit more for a more free-flowing game.
I'll have to turn that off in a minute just so that this doesn't overheat.
Just having John slide into the chair next to me, I called an audible for him to come up.
Yeah, I was sitting down nicely downstairs just watching Sua have a bit of a good game in the corner there. So he was playing from what we were looking at. Yeah, Motorcar on table 16, which is down to the right. You can't really see it.
Yeah, and that was the semi-final
4-1
flight, right?
Yep. So he's made it through to the flight final. So I'm presuming they're going to put that out with the two semis, and also I think there's the women's final. So 4 games to go.
I just wonder whether they might play one of the semis on the stream table. I think because none of the quarters were, so I think that you really have to put one of the semis on. That's just my view, anyway.
Yeah. Well, you've got two really good games. You've got.
I think they're going to put the semis on straight while the ladies' finals going on the stream table.
You've still got one game of quarters that's going on, so that might predict where it's going.
You might be able to get Sua's game on early because they're only playing race of 3, I think. 3 or 4.
Yeah,
it seemed to be over pretty quickly. So I'm not sure who was playing the final.
Peter de Groot, I think.
Okay.
I can see them at the top of your screen.
Okay, so they're on.
No, going on 11.
11. So
ladies
11
finals on the stream table.
Is it? Is that confirmed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, they can't play the semis of the main event yet because
It would
there's still a quarter to go.
It would have been really cool if we had this camera pointed down like 30 degrees. Where's your ladder, Paul?
In the
Dang it! Dangle you out the window and change the
smash a window.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's Sophia and Trish?
Yeah.
So Trish O'Neill. So I'm going to have to text Danny and say mum's on the TV table. If you're not already watching, Danny.
Danny. Get stuck into it, Danny.
Yeah. Mum's on TV. Ladies final. Cool.
So once again, tournaments come down to the pointy end, and as long as it takes to play matches, when you've got section play and then you've got post-section play, it always seems to go by in a real hurry. Then you look at your watch, obviously, and you're like, Jesus, it's 6:30, but that time just disappears, doesn't it?
I have to say today went a lot faster than yesterday. Maybe because today was more enjoyable than yesterday, so that might had something to do with it. But I just felt like the time did fly by. My first 2 rounds were buys, so that kind of made everything quick this morning. Like,
You had players not turn up for the trophy.
Yeah. So I think Tracy said there's 9 people, and that was one of my.
That might get them in trouble.
Yeah.
Because it's a trophy event, they're actually required to be there unless they've got a good excuse. But the flight you don't have to play in because it's not a CNZ event.
Oh, okay.
I might be getting that wrong, but you don't have the same compulsion to play in that as you do for the main event and the trophy. So
I mean,
if
you're
you
already there, so you might as well just play a couple more games.
True.
I mean, you
So-
probably already scheduled the day to be at pool, so
Well, you have to really. You have to assume you're going to be there all day, even if you get knocked out early. You still.
big sort of sofa into the middle. So I was talking to her earlier, and she said she was potting well. So this will be interesting to see if she can keep it up all the way to the end.
Yeah, Trish was hitting the ball quite nicely before as well against Katrina, because I think Katrina McKenzie really gave that last frame to her. I was watching that last frame, and Katrina had it all over Trish, and then she just kept making errors and letting Trish back in, and Trish ended up just being able to worm her way back into the frame, and then took it at the end. So
was it 4-3?
Yep. Both semis went the full distance.
I didn't see much of Sophia's one. I saw Sophia kind of chilling out on the couch each time I walked past in the hallway. So seemed like she was really taking a good amount of downtime away from everything and just chilling out and doing her thing. So kind of what
Simon Singleton.
Kind of what you were trying to tell me to do, but Jan can never.
Yeah. John's always on high time.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes.
Interesting little development here in the bottom right corner of your screen. There's a bit of ugliness there, isn't there?
Well, you got like all those smalls kind of stuck.
I think the one might go off the 10 if you're looking at ways of developing stuff. Playing the 5 now, just doing that to push the 12 a bit safer. And as far as who's got the ascendancy in this frame, it's pretty close, isn't it?
Yep. I think for this one, you're right. Like if Trish can get onto the 1, like that's going to open it up for her.
And unlucky that she's just behind the 4 there, because I'm not sure whether she can see the 15. So
I think she's too perturbed, so I think it's still on.
Okay. Must be just far enough away from it. Well, you can tell she was, because she missed it on the other side, so...
Yeah.
If she'd missed it fat, then we could have called it into question, but we can't because she missed it thin. Now I just wonder whether she might be looking at the 1 or the 4 here.
4 down over to the 7?
Possibly.
And try and,
Just try to nick away at those balls and try and make one of them on.
She really just killed that 4. The 4 just... And I'm not sure you can pot any of the 2 probably pots off the 9 now the other way.
True. Here's my shot. It's not this. Double the 11 inside the 9.
Yep.
Try and get that pocket sewn up.
Well, if you can hit the... Oh, maybe... No. If you could have hit that as well, you might have been able to bump into the 4 and kick the 12 out at the same time. So you'd have got rid of your 2 harder balls with one shot.
Yeah, I think there's just going to be a little bit of cat and mouse in this frame, because it's really has devolved into ugliness.
Yep.
And then you look at all these little...
So you could stack this here if you come off the... Not too bad. Still don't think it's a free ball.
No, she's taken the double away too. She can't... Fair can't double the 11 to block that hole, because the 6 is there.
Your double's off the table. She has to go the other way, if anything.
She still play it though. Still play it and try and go on to the 9. That's not an altogether bad result. I know it's a combo, yes, but with the table being that ugly, it might not be too bad.
2's still stuck. You don't have enough space to put it anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, you want to
just
sort that out now, wouldn't you?
place it down by the 11 and just take that pot. You get it, like, frames open. Just,
Does it go off the 11 as well? If it goes off the 11, then that could be really fascinating.
I think she's lining up like it is gonna. Nah.
I think it did, but she just played it wrong.
Mm.
This is not easy for Fia, though, unless she's willing to take the risk and go up and back. But I don't think she'll play that. I reckon she'll just clip out and
Well, you want to
maybe leave distance.
Clip out here. It'll nick the 9, and hopefully cover the 2, and just sew up that pocket.
If they're close together, yeah.
Yeah.
She
wanted that a bit tougher.
wanted distance for me. I think it was just the 9 covering the 2 was secondary to the distance left.
Yep. Well, now the 2's pretty much dead.
Unless Trish is willing to take a risk on the 5 here into the 7 to try and run into those balls and maybe promote the 2. It's not that sort of frame though, is it? It's one of those ones where you're waiting for the other person to make a mistake.
This might be the mistake.
If it's a free ball.
Well, I'm not sure if it's a free ball, but like she can get the 12 out pretty easy here.
12 into the 11 and
Yeah, the 12
block
was
the hole.
The 12 was pretty stuck, but now you've kind of got the upper hand back here because the 2's stuck. So
This is certainly one where you're wanting to try and cover a hole. Oh, that's not ended up good at all.
Oh, and she can't even go up and down.
Yeah, the 5's gotten in the way, and the black's in the way, and the 1's in the way, and she's going to have to kick it the 12 or the 9 here, I think.
Or the 10.
I reckon if she does that, she opens the 2 and the 1 up.
Just
I'd
roll up onto the 12 and try and just bump it a tad, but not.
She's gotten cover on the 1 at least.
I think it was a foul. Was it a foul?
No, it looked alright to me. It looked like she just caught the 10 first. Now's a chance for Trish, I reckon. If you can just pot this slowly and be on the 1.
Oh,
She has done. That's nothing but net.
that was a cracking pot. It's one for Daddy.
Oh, now I wonder. Slightly left field, may not take it. 1 off the 8 for a carom into the 7. Thought about it, but obviously Trish either didn't or decided against it. You have to remember, of course, that players don't always see the same shots we do.
Oh,
That was a bit casual. That was really casual.
just looking at that replay of the 2. It was really close. Simultaneous.
Pretty sure
Really
Nicole
close.
would have been sweating all over
Yeah,
that.
it was just a lot closer than the thing we thought.
Now then, if you're playing the 4, what are you playing for? Are you going to try and take the 1 out for dinner and a date, or nah? Ooh, wow.
It's alright. As long as you can get this 9 in here.
Unless it was a free ball,
Yeah, what's a free ball?
which, okay, would not be a bad thing, because now she might be able to just run into the 12 with this and promote the 9, or make it a plant. Obviously, I was looking at the wrong thing there.
Yeah, but the only problem with that one is she was coming way across. Now she's got this ugly cut.
This might be a one for an up and back if she's still wanting to pot it. I don't think it goes anywhere else, so it's either a safety or it's full bore. That was way thick. Wanted to hit that thinner, I would say, and leave it semi-adjacent to the pocket.
Thinner, not as hard. Any of the above.
Careful here, Trish. You don't want to leave a free ball.
Yeah, that was the only problem there. Now, Soph will just take the 4.
I think she kind of locked on to one shot, which was the 3-4 plant. Instead of just playing that with a bit of bottom to ensure that she didn't leave
Well, she could have got into the 4 a little bit, come up, bump the 3, and probably landed okay on 5. Yeah, the 5 and the 1 in the middle of the table, so...
She was playing for the wrong shot for me. She should have played the 1 and screwed back for the 5. Then taken the 5, and then you can play either the plant or the 4 straight. Because you're having to think about what you're going to leave as well, and you had the opportunity to leave it ugly if you missed.
What a pot.
That's a confidence pot, that is. Now just needs one more of those and she'll draw first blood. And right into the centre of the centre pocket. So Sophia Pinelli 1-0 up over Trish O'Neill in the 2024 Canterbury 8-ball ladies final. It says open singles there, that's slightly misleading. It's actually the ladies, Canterbury 8-ball ladies singles. I think therein lies the danger of being fixated on one shot. So it's that 3 onto the 4 plant was almost like an idée fixe for Trish. Instead of thinking about where a cue ball was going just in case, and knowing that she had a shot on the 5 if she came back, she almost played directly for a plant and nothing else.
Yep.
And that put her into that danger category if she missed the pot.
I was going to say that where the 3 was sitting too, it wasn't a given that the plant was easy as well. So, like looking at other options for how to deal with that, those 2 balls was probably a good thing. But she didn't really walk around and have a look. She just got down and hit the 1.
Bad miss. This is a big in for Trish here. He had a chance to claim the better set of the 2, which I still reckon is slightly the unders, but I mean the overs have got their merits as well. If you still want to take overs, then as long as you can promote the 15, you're good.
I think if you pot the 11, the 15 just goes in. She's going to take smalls and run over for the 6.
Yeah, so now this is working back towards the
6,
7 perhaps.
Yeah.
The 7 looks like it may pass the 9, so if that's true, then shouldn't be any worries. If the 6 decided it dropped, that is. Then I just wonder what Trish was going to do after the 7 went in, because it doesn't really link on to anything with the 8 being there. Likes that double. She did like it anyway.
I think the plant's almost on for like the 13-6. I think there's more room there than you think to squeeze it in.
Oh, you're thinking 13 off the 6?
Yeah. I think there's a bit more room than you think down there. Now she's freed up the 15, so 15 will pot after the 12. So it's just how do you get on? You're taking the cut now?
I think you take it now. You get rid of one of your trouble balls now. It needs to bounce. Oh, it hasn't bounced enough. If it had gone a bit further off that rail, would have been a good block for the 7. Right, so now what are you wanting to do here, Trish? Needs to have a plan in mind for what she's going to do with, in particular, the 4. It's a bad time to call. Sorry.
Mummy Sondercock's just checking in with Johnny Boy. So
No, I'm doing commentary at the moment.
right,
I got beaten in the last 30.
so 3-1. 4's a problem here. Ooh. You're going to play the plant first. You're going to play the plant first. You're playing the cut. Just don't snooker yourself with the 8. Nice. So if she can get high enough up here, she'll be able to have a similar shot at the 12, which might try and take 12-15 and deal with the 2 balls at the same time.
So the Tristan and Dan semis on down here.
Mm-hmm.
They're still playing the other quarter.
Are they? Wow.
Paul and Shane are still going.
So we might get...
Depends.
Or there's only going to be 2 matches left.
Yeah, but they'll try. I reckon they'll try and start that other semi as soon as
As soon
possible.
as, yeah. So, pretty good white if you have the double here. Oh, I like that. White was plum too. Trisha's looking at the 1 here, so I think it still passes the 15. Hey Wayne.
I've at least got one more frame down the corner. Starting.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what her plan was for the next ball. It's probably going to be the 4. And you're going to be running up towards that 15 off the rail. You might miss the 15. Luckily there she gets cover. Wow. Maybe the long bank? The cross bank. Okay, that's not a bad option because that takes away the 1 going back down there. So now Trish will have to try and get under the 1 here, somewhere by the 15. Maybe a little bit to the left of the 15 so that the 8 can go to the bottom left. Perhaps rail first here and flicking it around. Not sure if she's going to try and jam this in the corner. Oh. Going up a free ball. Call a 1, play it onto the 15. Easy 8. First frame. No, second frame.
I'm going to mute my phone now.
Is that Mama Sondercock just checking in?
I'm actually bad at not getting back to people.
Yep.
Was she trying to go underneath that?
No, she was just trying to play.
Oh, she had a free ball.
Yeah, it was a free ball.
Oh, Jesus.
No, I don't know if the nerves were getting to her or people watching, or it's quite a crowd downstairs kind of hanging around their table.
Start to get people mill about, and sometimes the combination of playing on the TV table and having a live audience can be quite suffocating.
You've also saw a few of the Pinellis downstairs, so...
Oh, look at this.
Oh.
That is beautiful.
Have some of that, Daddy.
Mwah. That sounds oddly sexual, but I'll take it. You've
been cheering for Mum there. That was the second one she smashed up to that pocket.
That's a beauty, isn't it? I hope somebody clips that, though. That was a great shot.
Yeah. Well, she hit that other, was it the two up that same line in the frame before.
Yeah, boom, down she goes. So one each, right?
Sophia really letting that one slip.
Yeah, Fia really made a horrible mistake with that, and even leaving it semi-ugly. Trish just pulled out a highlight reel shot to win the frame.
Somehow she left it high enough where Trish actually had a shot to that top pocket, when normally that would have just rolled in or over and knocked that one in and you're good to go.
Or it's just right next to it and you can't put it anywhere.
Was she afraid of giving a free ball back, perhaps? Like, you just got to knock that in.
Just pot the damn thing. Right, so Trish to break. Feeling most likely a lot better about herself
way better
now.
Yeah.
Good evening to you too, Wayne. Watching all the way from Hokitika. Or actually just outside of Hokitika.
This is
near the Taramako Bridge, is it, Wayne?
This is Wayne from Wayne playing in South. Is that the same one?
Mossy Wayne, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go Pirates. So Kaiapoi, Andy Kilty.
Andy, yeah. A few Pirates in the house?
Yes, you're an ex-Kaiapoi man yourself.
Yeah. Rat.
Still think that your shirts from the River Rats are really awesome.
Yeah. No, so
there's Danny.
So at Honkyu did an amazing job with the design when we first took it to her. So yeah.
Yeah, big ups to Sue actually for all the graphics and
she made some cool team shirts in the last couple of years. There's been a bunch of cool team shirts. So Honkyu have really done an awesome job with all of that.
Watching from Portland, Oregon. Okay. That's a fair distance away, isn't it? It's good, though. It's good that we've got a truly international audience.
West Coast America?
There's something like 20 hours behind? 19 or 20 hours behind.
It's probably almost tomorrow for Richard. Or almost today.
Yeah, almost today.
It'll be either 10:53 p.m. or 11:53 p.m. on Saturday.
I don't think Thea was trying to hit that off the 12, but got like a nice little rub there. She waved her stick at it going, whoops.
What hell has befallen this frame, though?
Pretty ugly.
Oh.
Yep, fair enough. Get that
That's
out.
what you do, eh? Just take your licks, get the hell out of there. The Wilcoxes, of course, playing for Richmond. So Sophia will be their girl. 11:54, so you're 19 hours behind. So New Zealand's GMT plus 11, I think. And so you guys must be GMT minus 7.
Yeah. I think that's about right.
Or plus 12 and minus 7.
Yeah.
You were plus 12 at the moment. It's plus 11 when we're daylight saving.
So Trish is actually, I forgot, is actually playing for the Pirates, so that's why we've got all the Pirate hee-hawing going on chat, so that's quite cool.
So all your uaras
and... Yeah. A few of the pirates will be tuning in. They're probably telling each other Trish is playing on the stream.
Good. It's the way it should be. Support your player.
It's not bad there.
I like that.
Now you got a worker.
Accessible to the 5. So you've actually got a ball that you can use if you want to smash into those or try and pick the 5 out if you're looking for the aggressive route.
Do you just flick the 15 down off the 5 here?
Yes. If you can see enough of it, that would have been my one option.
Oh. That's not terrible.
Might be a free ball though.
I don't reckon that 2 is.
I just wonder if it's not. It's great. If it is,
now you've taken away that worker. If she can't, like, she can cut the 5. But what more do you have?
Yeah, she's asking Nicole to check this. That's what these staples are for, by the way. They're the same width as the balls. They're all 2-inch balls. So the stapler essentially mimics a ball, or it simulates the width of a ball, and putting one next to the ball that is potentially snookering your ball, see in this case the 15 potentially snookers the 2, you must be able to hit all of at least one of your balls in these rules.
The extreme right here in this instance.
Well, the extreme right is Sophia sees it. If she can strike the extreme right hand edge of it, then it's not a free ball. So it's not a free ball because she's
lining up the 5.
Just try to tuck it in there, or even just bump it out.
Squeeze it, yeah.
Just try to get it out
You
better.
need to get
so
that a little bit harder to free it out. No, it's still.
Well, you've got to be careful though if you're going to do that. What else are you promoting? You don't want to promote the 15 unnecessarily and give Trish a chance to really hammer home the advantage.
Well, 15's already on now, I suspect.
But not from here.
Yeah.
If she's nearly rubbed in, I tell you what. But if she'd actually promoted the 15 more, it would have been on past the 5, and then Trish could have gone hooked into the frame. Yeah, you won't be used to these rules at all, Richard. These
Unless
are very, very different to
unless you move from
world rules.
From New Zealand to Oregon, on the off chance of already playing our crazy rule set.
With the emphasis on crazy, yep.
So you're going off the 2.
Careful.
Did you take that intentionally?
She could have done. With the rest of the ugliness in this frame, now she's still at the table,
was
so
it a
she
free
must have had
ball?
a free ball. So we've gone and missed something here. We've sequence skipped.
Yeah.
So she was snookered, so she took that ball that was over the pocket as a free ball, which essentially makes it one of her set for that one shot. Oh, Leroy, nice. Go Trish.
Yeah.
You know where that typical pirate accent comes from?
Nope.
Southwest England.
Okay.
Back in the 16 and 1700s in particular, a lot of the Navy conscripts and pirates at that time were conscripted from the western provinces of England, where they've got that kind of accent that mimics the pirate speech.
Get out.
Alrighty there, my lover, that sort of speak. I'm getting off topic here. Sophia's just gone and brought me back to life here.
The Trish getting a free ball here on the D, so.
Carl Van Beek, great to see you tuning in from Hamner Springs, which is about 1 hour and 40 minutes away from Christchurch.
Nancy O'Neill is just giving you a grammar check there.
Oh, true. Good spot there, Nancy.
Two L's.
Having the same last name.
Yeah, that goes to the technical production team. Or just
another
Paul.
L
Yeah.
means it's an L for Paul, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Not yet. I think that game's still going.
Does that Paul Blackler?
Paul Blackler and Shane Brecken. That was the only game that was still going
Just finished.
at the time of writing. Paul seems to think that the game's just finished though, so we will get a
Potential
result.
update. Not bad there from Fia.
It's good. This is good frame management because she
You got the
knows
5.
she knows that there wasn't a finish on there or an easy finish, so she's making it easier by just bumping the 2
Get the 9 out.
Yeah, that's what I'd be doing.
Get the 9 out, Trish.
She can't hear you, man.
Danny's yelling at the telly. Get the 9, Mum.
She's got to get herself back up table.
Big Shane.
So Paul Blackler betting Shane. Interesting.
I did say he was a dark horse.
The dark horse still rises after Souths.
Shane just walked out with the envelope, so.
The stallion rides on.
And he rides on into the night. Now this isn't bad because you've forced her to take the 2.
Now this is where you get quite interesting because of the 9 being there. It's quite squeaky. You want to get on the 4 if you can, but that's quite difficult unless you're willing to run rails, which you tend not to see a lot of in the women's game.
You can just stun this over. You just have to miss that 9. You hit the 9.
That's
it's
the,
going to be.
that's the squeaky part, and this is why I wonder whether Sophia might want to take the 4, but she's not. She's going for the kill. And that was always a problem. That 9 was looming big there.
I like the idea of that 2 trying to hold in the middle of the table, so you had that cut going back up this way rather than being low towards the 10, and then coming there and trying to squeeze up past the 9. Like from the middle of the table, you
Yeah.
always had angle to try and come up behind the 4 to the middle.
Do you
on
want
the
to
right.
make this 9 difficult now? I reckon you could try to cut the 4 into the 9, sit it near, or... Well, that was one shot, and this is actually pretty good because she's having to bridge over the 9 here.
Yep.
Makes the shot very awkward. And because she can't put much on the cue ball, she's forced to accept
You just
whatever
nick off.
position she gets.
You just nick off the 9 here and knock the 8 safe on the top rail. It's
But
alright.
again, it's-
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's a good comeback though, because that 4 doesn't pass the 8, so Fia, if she wants this frame, has got to cut it up to the top left pocket.
Now does Sophia claim the top left pocket to be hers for this match? Because Trish has claimed the top right already, twice to 2 good pots.
Oh, I see
can,
what you
can
mean,
Fia,
yeah.
Can Fia do the same?
Well, this is going to have to be a hell of a pot if she's going for it. Just got to pin her ears back, I'd say. If it keeps going... Ooh,
Dang.
if it had kept going, it would have made things fascinating.
The men's final will be on the stream probably after this, Ryan.
Well,
Imagine-
we've got one of the semis being played right now.
But
I see Donna's watching as well too, so that's obviously come to support her Richmond teammate here. Free ball. That was actually a good
Well, she's
option,
Donna.
but she just needed to make sure she didn't miss it. A or B didn't leave a free ball.
Donna, I think, it's got a foot in both camps because you got both Sophia at Richmond plus Trish O'Neill.
Trish used to be Richmond,
Yeah.
I think they
But-
used to play in the same team too.
Yeah.
Whereas Sophia plays in, I believe, a different team at Richmond. Heard I'm coming up. You're dead right, Ryan, and I'm looking forward to it. Who's in the final? Well, they're still playing the semis at the moment, so
It'll be
Couldn't tell you at the
either
moment.
Christchurch or what's the final down there at the moment? Christchurch and who?
Well, Chris and Danny Bowen are still in, as are Paul
Who's playing below
Blackler
us?
and Tristan Matheson. I think it's Tristan Matheson versus Danny Bowen. That's one of your semis. The other one is Paul
Gary versus Paul
versus
Blackler.
Paul.
Does that squeeze? I think it does.
Yeah.
Rail first.
Prioritise hitting the rail.
Yeah.
If you can catch that little bit of lip
Little
as it
bit of
comes
that,
out, then you'll rub in off the 10.
I think you could even be a little bit to the right of that as well and still get in.
What you absolutely must not do is
Touch
hit
the
10.
10.
You hit the 10, it's over.
Yeah.
You've basically fumbled your chance. You need to hit that rail, where that rail comes out and rounds off.
Anywhere on that bottom rail, you have to. There you go.
Bang! Have some of that
That's
for dinner.
That's perfect. It's a 2-1.
Sorry, 2-1 fair.
Yeah, fair.
Well, she didn't pussyfoot with that either. She decided to play it aggressively, which I quite like.
Mm-hmm.
Because had it flung out and flung the other ball out, then the other ball could have gone safe. And also, you're never going to die wondering playing it that way.
Yep.
You know that even if you miss it, you walk away from the table thinking, well, it didn't work this time, but at least I gave it a go. So yeah, I hope you heard that, Wilcox's, that what we were saying earlier. We've given you the semis.
It could be all Cashmere Gold final.
True.
So, got a Titan, 2 golds, and
Gary the Great versus the Natural, perhaps.
and who was the last one? Tristan. I'm unsure as
Or
to
it could
what
be
team.
Mr. Blackler versus Mr. Everywhere, because he seems to fly in from anywhere to play.
What team's Tristan in?
He doesn't play in Christchurch.
Okay.
He's representing Papua Nui, I believe.
Okay.
But he actually bases himself out of either Wellington or Gore, I believe.
Okay.
But he does a lot of, obviously, travelling to play pool, and because he's got good mates here that take him in, and like
Obviously
Purdon's
at
are
the
good
Purdon.
mates of his.
Yep.
Yeah, good
Yep,
mates
yes.
of his.
Oh, that kick. Just set the 13 up. Lovely.
Deserved it with the shot she played,
Yeah.
because she played it very well. Now you got to find a way of, say, getting yourself on the 14.
Go on.
This may offer an
2
opportunity.
cuts, 2 cut, like, and then 9, and then 14.
Not with this table. You've really got to aim at the far jaw because it naps in heavily.
With the bruises when he's in town. Okay.
Okay. Plays for your team, Greg.
There we go. Thanks, Greg. Good plant there.
Didn't want
We
it.
had a bit of an earthquake there or something. The camera moved.
She didn't want it.
Somebody.
I'm guessing. I'm telling you right now, she wanted that over the hole.
Mm-hmm.
Lisa McCormack. Thank you very much. Everything ugly that could have happened did.
So what are we doing here? 14-12.
Yeah. That's my pack. 14, 12, 10.
10,
Although
10 by the 1, so that you got an angle to come up back for the 13 and then over, because
you almost wouldn't want to take the 13 last. And I say that because of the fact that you're having to work your way past everything else.
So do you play this with a bit of bottom and try and pot the 2?
2, what?
Well, the 2 balls, so the 13 and the 14. It's going to go in
No,
reverse.
I think if you're going to do that, you want one of them to stay over the hole.
Mm-hmm.
So she's going to play the plan now by the look of it, which is quite interesting. But at the same time, if she's got an angle on this, then she might be able to bump the 14 out and give herself another option on it. Because right now it only really goes into 2 pockets, or probably just the one. But if she gives it a wee bump, or the 5 a bump, which she hasn't, but it's still on for the middle.
I think okay, so she's just going 12, 14. So just make sure you're high and cutting it straight over to that rail, basically.
This is going to be a bit tricky.
Anyway, this way, so that the white's coming towards the rail that the 8's on. You can't quite see how high you can get here, hey?
Same hole. Must have been on in the same pocket, but she's overran it by a mile. Maybe it wasn't on as on in the middle as we thought it was.
Yeah. Sneaky, but I feel like Fia's just going to roll the 6 over the bucket and pass it back to you with it down on the bottom rail by the 3 somewhere.
This was awkward though, because she's going to have to use the jigger.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to have to use the heightened jigger,
The bridge.
so that lends itself to a lot of things potentially going wrong. She's actually using the regular rest here, so maybe she can see enough of it so the 14's not in the road. That's okay, because that offers a chance to finish. It's maybe not what she wanted, but there's a chance to finish here, Fia, if you're good enough. And the 1 actually is a good ball too. If you can play the screw it back at just a touch, and then you're on the 7 and you're working back towards the other end. And because she's got this angle on the 7, then she can either play it now and play so that she's not running into the black, which she is, and oh Jesus, she had to make sure she missed the black there. She's actually made the black safe, which might work in her favour later on, but if she was going to take the 7, she needed to avoid that. She's thinking of the plant here. Now, where this is, I wouldn't be taking this on. It's a very brave person to attempt that shot. So now it's a free ball to Trish, and the 8's now open, whereas before it wasn't. I think Fia missed a trick there. She should have just left the 4 where it was.
Canterbury just beat Josh in the flight.
Okay, so the final of the main flight was won by Peter de Groot over Josh Elua. So congratulations, Pete. That's another one that would have been better over the hole.
Yeah, they've all just kind of dropped into the bottom right.
It happened to Fia before, and now it's just happened to Trish.
Do you leave the safe, or is she going for the... What is she doing, Danny? I think she's going for the double. No?
Playing safe. That's not very safe, though.
You need to try and get that tight on the rail.
You needed to get the cue ball down the other end of the table, really, and the best place for it would have been sort of centre on the top rail or the bottom rail in bulk, so that the 5 was blocking the 3 and the 4. That would have been the ideal safety position. So you've played it more aggressively, which I quite like, but it's not worked.
Might have been a good enough safety. Leaving that hard cut, and Fia just couldn't get it.
Well, what I mean is that wasn't really that hard, though. She just needed to hit it better than she did.
Mm-hmm.
But it only works as well as the next shot played.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, she's fallen right off that. Jesus, she nearly missed the whole ball.
She did miss the whole ball, I think.
Well, she missed the whole ball, but was lucky enough to catch it off the rail.
Yeah.
You could see her almost fall into the shot, which unfortunately sometimes she does. If you look at, she's got quite a tall stance, so she doesn't get all the way down onto the ball like Fia does. That's not nice, but it's still a chance. It's not an easy chance, but it's a chance. So sometimes if you do have stand over the ball like Trish does, then you're really having to keep yourself as still as possible. Otherwise, if you do move, it actually gets compounded. That's not a bad result, actually. Got them both out.
I think Trish will get this now. She's got cover on the middle pocket, so she can have just a free stroke at this.
Thank you, radiology. No, it does, and I've heard that so often when we were doing the South Islands, or when I was doing the South Islands, for example. I had so many people tell me how happy they were to actually hear commentary.
We did ask that at the beginning.
I think the 3 might be visible here. If it's not, then Fia's got a much more difficult task, because
I think it's on.
well, if it's on, you'd be going for it. If it's not on, then
It's kind of straight though, so she's just going to have to try and cue through it a bit so that she can get out.
but yeah, she had to.
To get out for
It
the
must
4.
have been so close as
Mhm.
well. You always got it in the back
Come
of
on,
your
Trish.
mind that you don't want to flip the 4 in, or you don't want to hit the 4. Sometimes that little 5% can just be enough to make you miss. Get the rest. Don't be a hero. Get the rest. Most players would have been able to reach that, but if you can't, don't try. Oh, that was very timid. Also interesting to see that she used the more open part of the wrist rather than turning it over
Right.
and using the narrower part of the wrist. Because I almost never ever use the wider part of the wrist.
So you don't use
The
that.
more obtuse angle as opposed to the more acute angle.
You don't use that angle, say, if you needed to hit the bottom of the ball.
No, I actually use the
The same side.
acute side of the wrist. Careful. Oh, that's a wee bone.
that was a
Yep.
good little rub.
That would have been quite a nasty, potentially nasty shot there for Fia.
It would have come down.
Hit the
It
knuckle.
would have came down toward the second bolt, giving this a little bit more difficulty than.
The quick reason why I don't ever use the obtuse angle on the wrist is because the cue moves too much side to side.
Mm-hmm.
The acute angle actually holds the cue straight.
How do you find the 9-ball rest with the 17 different options?
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Whichever one allows me to cue it straight.
Well, the good thing about those rests is you get like lots. Oh no.
Whoops.
You get lots of different options for height, which is quite cool. And then you turn it on its side, and it's the bridge at the same time. So you get all those good things in one.
Well, Trish did all she could to lose that frame, but she ends up winning it.
Sophia didn't really want to take it from her.
2 frames apiece in the final of the ladies.
The first semi-final's finished, because it was on 18.
So one of the semis is finished by the sound of it. So
Can we find out?
somebody's obviously had an absolute riotous time.
Danny.
Probably Danny, I'd
Danny
say.
Bowen.
And Danny's one of those players who can run racks in no time.
Yep.
I'm just trying to remember if he's one of those players that packs his gear up after he plays. Some
Yep.
people actually don't, and some
He does.
do.
He does. He just cracks his cue and puts it in the case.
Because I always leave my cue out until I'm finished.
Mm-hmm.
Because with some players, they just put the cue back away and then take it out when they play again. I suppose that's just to avoid the cue getting stolen or misplaced. Can one of you clue me in on as to what was so funny over there?
The girl's having a bit of a laugh. And the I'll message Red. See what's so funny. Good to see Rig there with the
Fear's
ladies.
using the fan. I wonder if that's got anything to do with it.
Red, what's funny?
Who the hell's Red?
Sarah Davidson.
Oh, because of her hair.
Yeah, that's the nickname she goes by. So Sarah and her son Logan there. Then you got Cat Mama Jan, I think, in the dark.
Jan Maroko, yep.
Yeah. And then
Yeah, Rosie Pinelli
Rosie.
there. I think that might be...
one of the cousins.
Yeah, or maybe
Sister?
maybe Rosie's sister there, just
There was a
sitting
few-
behind.
There was a few of the Pinellis outside playing pool in the hall, so seemingly like there's a good amount of Pinelli support, both for Soph and also for Isse, who's down there on the table looking at the corner game. So I think is there a game in the corner there
Yeah.
On-
That's the other semi-final.
on 20?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what S is watching on the corner.
Oh, okay.
Is it still that quarter, or is that semi started?
Semi, 'cause-
Chris Geary versus Paul Blackler.
yeah.
It's amazing how much energy the younger players have got, because they were... Some of them get knocked out earlier, and if there are practice tables available, they just jump straight onto a practice table and keep playing.
I might have been out there playing a little bit.
One of the just talking about juniors, John. My trip to New Plymouth last year,
Yeah,
I was staying with the Bernards.
Blake and
It was,
Yeah.
Blake,
And
Lena, Sydney.
Sydney. Yeah,
And there would have been probably 5 or 6 juniors there.
yeah.
And we got back home after being out all day and
So
straight downstairs.
Straight downstairs, back on the
onto
table.
Practice table.
Yeah. Did the Bernards have like 17 different options of table downstairs, or
They had,
Foul
they
break.
had about 4.
4 tables? That's pretty
At the
epic.
time.
So foul break there. So she made a ball off the break, but that's a material.
Didn't make 4.
4 colours have to touch a rail, which did not happen. So it goes back to Thea now, because Trish broke that. I think it's changed now that you cannot play on if it's a foul break. You must re-rack.
Yep.
And I'm not 100% sure whether the opposition player must break or whether they have the option to hand it back. Now, obviously, in my case, I'd want to be wanting to break if I were in Fear's position.
Whoever's got the foul chooses. So if in this instance Trish fouled, Fair has the option of taking her break for the turn. So then she breaks twice in a row now, or passing it back to Trish for another crack at it.
No, I would be taking it myself.
Yep.
Such an important shot in the context, especially if you've got a good break and a good ability to break and clear, then you want that. If your opponent breaks and breaks foul, then that's a chance for you to have another opportunity to break and clear.
Oh, it just napped out. Nap or bit of spin.
I think that was heading that way anyway, but it was just helped.
And swerve a little touch.
So you're Danny in the final, Danny Bowen I'm talking about.
Did we confirm that Danny won?
I have had no confirmation.
Okay.
So I mean, I could be speaking out of turn
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I think she wanted to be on for the 9 there, but she hasn't quite made it that far.
Maybe now for the 15?
I think she has to. 15 and then possibly the 9 into the 12, from what I can see.
Oh, that's nice. Now you got room to cut this.
Well, she could cut the 11, but I don't think she'll want to. I think she'll want to focus her attention on this pocket here.
9, 10, maybe even run into the 5. Not bad.
No, that's a good result because that opens both balls up and just ties the 5 up
The 5's
a
here.
little more. Because if Fair can somehow move the 5 off one of these, it's still running into the 14 probably.
There's a Grandmaster Pirate, the big cheese pirate himself, Nick.
Yeah, you'll be a little bit torn here, wouldn't you, Jess? Although being a Kaiapoi girl, you'll obviously be rooting for Trish.
Yep. Torn.
It's lovely the amount of support that all the ladies actually get from the
It's
other
cool to see
lady
them all
players.
tuning in to watch, like,
Yeah.
and having a chat. It's nice.
They do stick together well, don't they? So you do get a lot of support for ladies pool, which I very, very much like. And you still don't get the same sort of representation on streams that you should get. So
Yep.
it's great to see the final being streamed. So out now for the 3, but you've got to
Dunno.
ask yourself,
Don't know what we're doing here.
what are you doing now?
Don't know what we're doing.
Are you maybe putting that... Yeah, you've got to think, try to ugly something up here.
Gonna ugly up that 9. Just come off the rail. She going for the full length double. The cut.
Oh dear. For me, that was not the percentage option. Some people would have seen that and thought, right, I'm into this, but most people would have thought, no, let's just try and tie this frame up and make it uglier than it is. I've obviously not gotten position on what I was going for, so there's no point continuing.
You just take the 9 to the middle here.
Captain Nick.
Yep. To
Ooh.
Nick. Here's the ringleader pirate, shall we say?
Can I get a last name?
Man,
Because
yeah,
otherwise I've got no bloody idea.
Crow.
Nick Crow,
So-
okay.
Out of Oxford and now into Kaiapoi. So
Watch it. Oh, you had to watch it. That was always likely.
also plays on my Wednesday team. Nick.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
because you play
Nick and Lee.
Rangiora Kaiapoi Sefton sort of league.
Yeah, it says RKPA.
Okay.
That's the acronym, I guess.
I want to park this. Park it. Not in the hole.
Crazy thought here, but do you reckon she could bank it? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
up
what she's
behind
going to
it
go
and
for.
kick it into the same pocket. Oh, she's done exactly the same thing as Trish did.
The copy paste.
Would you believe it?
Well, now you've got a free shot at this 13. Is it, or is it 11?
I think
Sorry,
it's
the
11.
colours.
Yeah, I know, it's hard with the light.
So 11, try and get cozy on this, near the pocket somewhere, and then get a good angle on the 14 to come out.
Well, the good thing here is that she had a lot of latitude
Is it
for
on?
position. Oh, it's on by a mile. She had a lot of latitude for position. She didn't have to try and top through and get on the rail. This needs to really stop. This is not ideal, is it?
I liked a little bit more angle there, John.
I like the more angle, but she just overhit that. Just got to be careful that she at least gets a cover, which she thankfully has gotten. So now it's all up to you, Fair, to go for a double or a treble or whatever you want.
Cross bank triple?
Could do.
Reverse triple? Inside the 8?
A lot of players would play for that too. As long as you can get your cue ball out the way, it's a viable shot.
I mean, most of the people who would get that shot were probably aiming for a double, let's face it, but...
Tried for the safety, but
Safety...
even though she got reasonably safe, because that, whilst it's cuttable, is very tight, all Trish really has to do now is just put that closer to the pocket and make the double difficult.
Just keep really low. She might be able to see more of this than... Nope. And now Fair has a free crack at putting this over the bucket. You just roll this down over the top left. Don't sink it.
I think what is AN1 here? What is AN1 here? Leave the cue ball on the rail. Near the rail.
Yeah. Or you just kick it out towards the middle. Yeah. Beautiful.
That's actually good, but...
Now you have to go for the crossbank.
You don't have to. If you hit this thin enough...
Well, thin it, come one, top right rail, middle.
If you have that in your skill base, yes.
You have to end up in the D.
If you have this in your skill base, then yes. I honestly reckon Trish should have a go at this. I think she has to go off the right rail and have a go. She's looking at it now. The safety's hard to achieve from here.
Yep.
You're better off to have a go and not die wondering.
You've got a higher chance to make this and just...
As long as you strike this nice and full, just like that, you can be a hero. Or a heroine in this case.
Who dares wins on that one?
The percentage shot there from Fair was a good one though.
Yep.
I mean, she lost the frame, but chances are reasonable that you'll get another shot.
Sometimes you do leave a good safety and you still lose.
Yeah, and you've just got to take that and
you have to just move on. Looking at you, Adam Chapman.
You play an absolute hell of a safety, and then you came back with something better.
Yeah, crossbank double, didn't touch the sides. Thank you for coming. Good break there from Fia. You get anything down?
Yeah, no ding, unfortunately.
Lots of spread. We've got another cluster on the right.
Do you wonder what Trish will be if she'll look at that now and think, right,
now you can have a bit of a go here because you've got some wind in your pirate sails, so to speak.
Yeah, and your ship's got an extra tail end attached, so...
Queuing here is going to be yuck.
I think she was just trying to establish a set, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. You just roll this over. Don't foul.
Yeah, just to make sure you don't hit anything.
Good enough. You've only got...
Depends on what the other player does, because if
1 or 5
can move the 7 closer to the rail, then it becomes accessible past the 12. Because right now it is, but the 15's making it hard.
This isn't too bad though, because if Fair plays a 5, you're getting your 14 and your 15 out. So yeah, Fair going, no, that's not going to happen. We'll play the 6.
Yeah, well, she didn't want to risk opening the frame up further for a player who's already ahead.
Now you go 3. I'd go 3-7.
Okay, she likes the angle enough on the 1 to attempt that shot.
Oh, okay.
Oh, she tried to go for the bank, alright.
So not even disturbing those.
Cover the other hole. Gold doubloons.
Yeah. Piece of 8. He's meaning like coins.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no angle there to promote the 10. So she's decided to try and go back down table to attempt one of these 2 balls. But the problem is, again, you're running into problems, aren't you? That may very
Free
well
ball?
be a free ball. It's the thing that I think that Sophia's actually done better than Trish in this game, even though Fear's behind 3-2, is actually plot what she wants to do. I actually think she's been the better player at that. It's just her execution that's let her down. Like, Trish has come up with a lot of big gamed type shots.
Fia executed the last shot in that last frame the best she could. It's just Trish had the guts to...
Better counter, yeah.
Well, she had the guts to go for it. She's not going to wake up in the morning and wonder whether she would have got that or not.
Yeah. 14 must not be on, because certainly for me, if the 14 was on, I would have at least considered it.
That's a cracking pot, though.
It was. Now she's just got to
Rail first.
make this
Yeah.
the rail.
That's how I would have done it. I'm sure that's how she planned it out.
Now, what sort of shot does she want on the 14? She comes back. She probably needed to hit that harder, but quite possibly her focus is not so much on the 14.
I wonder if she just tries to thin the 10 and get the 10 over the pocket and the 4 dead with the 1.
This is true. Leave that cluster as it is on the right.
Yeah. Just roll.
And try to
Hit-
fudge the 4 and the 1.
Hit the 10 like a quarter ball, then kill the 4.
She's done a good job of keeping the 2 in the way of the 7.
Sorry.
Because the 7's obviously the ball you'd love to have here is the 7.
What if
But
the 7 still goes?
I would say no. The 2 might go past it though, if she plays it now. But she's got her eyes set on the 3.
Just roll this in or over.
Don't hit the 4, don't hit the 10.
It hasn't really improved anything in that corner.
It's not bad though, because
Now
you've
you're
now
gonna
got another ball there.
now
So
you're gonna have the 4, the 3, and the 1 all in that corner.
yeah, but you might actually end up leaving a plant on one of them, you see, whereas that was unlikely to happen before. You've got to be careful that she doesn't overhit this.
It's not
Seven's
terrible.
on for a cut. The 7's on for a cut here, and I'd certainly be looking at it. See, if you try to plant this one onto the 3 now, then you run the risk of snookering, so... So I'd be, yeah, this is exactly what I'd be doing. I'd be trying to cut this in and hoping for a better result than that. It's really stiff.
Yuck.
Just touch the yeah. I was just thinking, touch the 2 towards the 14, leave Trish
14.
stuck on the 14.
So white off the 2 towards the middle pocket, all you got is 14.
And hope you end up pretty much on top of it.
Well, she's going to kill this down the end rail?
Well, that's what she's tried to do, or at least tried to push it somewhere where it won't be easily potted, but...
Now they're all open. I mean, Trish just
Yeah.
needs to make a pot here.
Yeah, exactly. That was the problem, is that if you're playing it that way, you need to make sure you get the kill. Whereas if you play the weight, you might not get it right on the 14, but you make it difficult to queue.
That'll work.
Not for me. I'd be very tempted. You can see almost the whole 4 here.
The white. I don't know. Yeah.
Depends on whether you want to play the 2 or the 4 into that pile and try to promote the 3 over the hole.
But you've got like the queuing of the white of the rail. Like Trish has done pretty much the best that she can in
To
this
make that
situation to make it
awkward.
hard. And it was hard because now...
Well, now she's got a free ball, and
Mm-hmm.
for me, you've got to be looking at trying to play something to get to the 14 here. I'd be hesitant to take this unless I can be sure
5?
I can get out for the 14.
5?
If you're playing the 10 here and not taking your free ball. You see, you were asking a fair bit of that, weren't you?
I mean, it ended
Just a wee chance for fair here.
You're gonna. I just don't know if that 3 will get by that 10. It's just sitting on top of it.
I think it's the 2 she's looking at.
The 2 is
She's
rough
either gonna
though.
try-
That's such a cut.
Would you just try to kill it on top of the 10? Play it that way? Might have sold the farm here.
Yeah.
Hoping for a better result, obviously, and it hasn't come.
Pirates are on the end of their planks in anticipation here for Trish.
I think they'll be lining the decks watching this.
Yeah. It's going to be party down at the boat.
Watch out for the 2 and the 4 here. Well, that's why she's played it that way. And, I mean, it's not great.
Just flinched as she... Oh, Trish.
That's why she didn't play it with any speed, though. She didn't want to snooker herself. But again, you don't want to give Fair too many chances like this, even though this is hard as well.
What are we
If you
doing?
can see the 5, then that's what you play. She absolutely must get this at least over the hole.
And we're over.
Oh, it's in. Can see the 1, possibly can see the 3. So this could be all on for young and old again here.
The 10 being a little bit muddly here.
Well, if you can see the 3, you'd be very tempted to play it, wouldn't you? Because if you play the 1, you could scoot back up table and have no shot. If you take the 3 and screw off it, you should at least be on the 1. Oh, Fair. She's actually uglied the 10 up quite well, so this could have more chapters yet.
It's not over, folks.
I think that was a bit of a rush of blood, to be fair. I don't think the 10 passes the 3. If it does, then
Well, you
Trish could be the luckiest woman alive.
But you take this here, try and come out and just get a good angle. It is
Not the fantastic angle.
We
that
think
you
it's
were
Chris
hoping.
Gary versus Dan Bowen, but we haven't.
Chris hasn't. I don't think Chris has finished his game yet. He's still playing.
Oh, they're playing. So it's Daniel Bowen.
Oh, now what? You see? Didn't get the angle. She
Yeah,
wanted.
well,
She
you
had
needed to
play
come
ugly.
out. She needed to come out so she could just play that 10 down the rail and over the bucket. Awatia's down there. I might ask him what the score is.
So much has already happened in this game, and we might have more. Oh, she's on the 2. Okay. Does the 4 or the 1 pass the 8? I wouldn't even be worried about
Two
play
rails,
the 2
1.
all day long.
2 rails for the 1, and then back to the middle for the 4, and then 8.
Back
Bingo.
yourself to get on the 1 here. You must back yourself to get on the 1. 1, possibly 2 rails, get past the 4, get on the 1, and then the 4
I think
should
that
be
4,
relatively simple.
that 4 pots to the bottom if the 4 doesn't get in the way.
You get past the 4, so as long as she can see the 1,
I think that
she's
4
golden.
I think that 4 still pots, so she'll just pull us back.
If the 4 pots, yes. I'm working on the assumption the 4 doesn't pass.
Good.
Obviously that changes the game if the 4 passes.
Nope.
Doesn't seem like it does, so it will be the 1.
Bit of right, come out for the 4 in the sandbag.
No, follow.
Oh,
This is a wee bit
Stun.
squeaky as well, isn't
just
it?
stop shot there, top to the top.
Would you play with a bit of safety in mind here?
Yeah, I would.
Play
I
to
would
the top and
right.
just
Stop, or back an inch. The only problem you have is the 10 might go inside the 8 by doing that.
or do you just put all your cards out there and cut it in the middle?
2 pair.
Ooh,
Yep.
it wiped its feet. But down it goes, and this, for bonus pull,
Yep, have a look at
you know
that.
how much yeah, that's good,
Yep.
good fare. Have a good look at it. Make
Yep.
sure it's where you think it is.
Sometimes looking at that doesn't help you though.
How though? You still got to hit it.
Yeah. I was talking about 2 weeks ago when we had those 2 on the
Yeah.
rail, and the angle that we had on them was just rough.
Right, so we've got bonus pull in the ladies' final here.
Kind of hell decider,
Trisha O'Neill
ruining the fact
and
that she had
Sophia Pinelli cannot be separated at the moment.
Trish had it. She just dropped a sword.
Well, she just had so many chances to finish that frame, and she was just timid, wasn't
that
she?
one cut to the middle. She just kind of underhit it and then hit it thick and then didn't. Like she had a bunch of room there, and she hit it short, left it high when she could have used the rail and stood there, and then had an angle to come down and back out for the 8.
Well, she just had to attack that more, didn't she?
Mm-hmm.
She had to be more sure of position,
I don't
as
think
opposed to trusting her eye.
you just had to touch the rail, like hit it, touch the rail. Shout out to Jojo. You might be able to see
Jojo
some
Coleman, good
some
to have you.
Goldies
watching.
playing in the final coming up.
It is. It's raining a little bit at the moment, but other than that, the pole's good. Break from Trish is no good.
Ooh.
It's not a foul break, but nothing off the break.
We're going fair, 5-1.
That's what I'd be doing. It's just, I think Fia's seeing it that same way as well. If she want to get an angle of some sort on the 1, and she's possibly the wrong side of it, but at the very least the 4 and the 2 are well available.
Mm-hmm. I think that 3 might sneak past the 10 as well. So all of those might go to the bottom left.
The 3 might go off the 13 as well into the 2, so depending on
4
what
here.
sort of leave you've got. Yeah, definitely.
4 here and back around for the 6. You get 2 or 6.
Possibly, or if you're straight enough, you'd even play this in and try and
Come in.
kick the back of the 13 and just open them up a bit more for yourself. If you're straight enough, which she wasn't, obviously.
Bugger.
Well, she can see the 6 at the very least, so... And with the ugliness of the table, it's not a bad time to get out of position. I mean, later on, when the table's more open, that's exactly what you don't want. But right now is not so bad, as long as she doesn't disturb too much.
Yuck. 10's on.
That 13 looms large as a ball to play.
I reckon you go 10, 13. If you can do just 2 little...
I don't think the 10 goes. She's even looking at the 9.
9.
I'd be very suspect
14?
of this. I would have gone the other way. I mean, the 13 was a risky shot, yes, because you're opening up so much, but if you make that and you open the 10 up, then they're all on for you.
Free ball?
Definitely. I think most certainly that's a free ball, and
Nicole not even needing to look.
no, she did not sit down.
So how are we attacking this 12 fair? Are you coming rail first and around, or are you just
I
taking
think she'll
the
just
cut?
go around, but she's quite straight on this, so she might try to rip the pocket off if she can.
You always have the...
She's done well there. She's ripped the pocket off, yes, but she put a little bit of lift on it as well to widen off the rails.
So we move in the 3.
I honestly think it goes off the 13 and into the 2 here. It just whether she sees it that way or not. but she's gone back to the 7. I think she still wants to keep it semi-tight here. Now the 6 is on, so
And back up into them?
you could do. If you're confident queuing with inside English, that's how you do it.
You'd aim in for the 10?
Yes, or the 10 or the 13, whichever ball gives you a better split.
So the 10 will split the 8 out, plus I think the 3 still goes to the bottom right, if the 10's not there.
If you can move it far enough, yes.
Fear having absolutely none of that.
No, she's just going to play the 6 into the
Go
bunch.
the other way.
Look at this.
So
Because
that-
this one most certainly splits it all up. It's just the action off the 13 you've got to be careful of here, because
So the
that'll be
8
the first ball you run into.
The 8's going towards the middle bag, 6 going in. Where's the 3 going to end up?
Oh, they were all on
Didn't
too,
matter.
but she missed the pot. Dear, oh dear.
So the 3 actually enter like magnificent.
Yeah, but it's all well and good.
Yeah. Just jawed it and it didn't go in.
She's left the 3 on. I wonder if she was playing it that way for not leaving the 3 on in mind here. Either that or she's just fallen off it again and missed it by a long way. I've seen a few of those actually in this game. Just seen Trish fall off a few shots.
Oh, shot fair.
That's a big pot.
Might be enough.
Needs to bump away from the rail here. To kill it with just a trace of stun, because you've got to be careful. Obviously you want to pot the ball, but you've also got to be careful you're not leaving yourself a hairy cut to finish.
I think this angle just naturally comes out towards the black spot, doesn't it?
No, I think it goes back towards the black, just like this.
that.
See, this is not nice at all. I know it's potable, and most people will say you should be able to get these, but this to win a final
She made it difficult.
is not ideal. So this has to be a good shot now.
Top
Just
left,
has to kill it.
top
Just
left's
kill
been
it.
Trish's. Will the top right's been Trish's? Will the top left be Fear's?
Oh, Q! I thought you got it.
That looked so in.
I thought that was in.
So in.
Why do you tease me?
Oh, that's ridiculous. Pirates out there draw a sigh of relief.
See that 15 now. I'd be leaving that for last.
That's the last ball. Yep.
I would very much be tempted to take 14 here and just play it pocket weight. 14, play it pocket weight. If you don't drop it, you don't leave a shot on the 8. Do not hit it too thin. That's the one.
Oh, and it
That's the
covers the
shot.
pocket too. Brilliant.
No, that's the shot. If you dropped it, the whole table was there for you.
hmm But here it stopped the double as well, so it doesn't even go inside the 10.
Which pocket are you wanting? I reckon middle right here.
All right.
Nothing else is on. You've got to hit it real thin too, so you're sending the cue ball. She's going to try to put it on the left rail, perhaps, and make it harder. Okay, so she's handing it to Trish and saying, if you're good enough, you can have this, but if you're not...
She doesn't really need the 15 anymore, so she's got a worker there to get down the table, right?
True. Now you're looking at potentially the 14 or the 11 as your last ball. I mean, if you can get back to here for the 15, that would be great, because you can go one rail and back across for the 8. She's kind of got the
11?
wrong side of the 11 here, but she can still cut this
I reckon
in.
she'll try and hold for the 13.
Oh wow, that would have
Yeah,
been
for
good
you.
for the 10 too, but
Yeah.
she's just dropped her bundle. This is another one where you just cue it, but don't cue it too hard, but you still got to throw it.
Not too much inside.
This does have a propensity to move off the rail slightly, unfortunately, which doesn't help, but if you cue it nicely enough, it should still drop. No, rail first. I tell you what though, she's forcing Trish to dial long distance here. Oh, double. Didn't hit it.
No, wasn't a shot.
Yeah, I would have just thrown it into the 13 there.
Well, if you were going to be safe, like, you'd have just nicked off the other side and put it back on this rail at the top. Rolled up onto it, made it difficult.
It looks so good when it works, but when it doesn't. This for the final. And
for the final, though, it's hard.
Finally, we've got a result. Sophia Pinelli
Battling back.
is your new ladies champion for Canterbury in 2024.
Congrats, Sophia. I don't know if are all of the other games finished.
Still going in the corner.
We're still going in the corner.
Yeah, Paul and
Gary.
Chris Geary still playing, so that game looks like it's just getting ever so tighter, isn't it?
You can with the final once that's complete.
So once the final's done, then we'll be out of here. But we've still got one more mouth-watering game to play.
I feel like I need to go and get us a drink.
Yeah. Definitely feeling like I need a drink, hey?
What do you want?
Just a Coke Zero.
Okay.
Some driving.
Talk to you soon, folks. I'll go see if I can get a score on the table too.
I'll be back in the sea camp. I should be in plenty of time.
Yeah, it was a very intriguing match, that, actually. It was just as much of the not so good players there was the good. It came down more to who was less likely to make a mistake, really, didn't it? It was not as much of who was willing to get out there and grab the game by the scruff of the neck, as we see Sophia's family congratulating her just at the top of your screen there. It was more who was not making the most mistakes, so not the sort of final that you tend to see a lot of. You tend to see a lot more free-flowing play and players making clearances or players playing really big shots to win games. You didn't see a lot of that in this game, but it still went hill, and it was still an exciting watch. So we're going to try and get a score from John for the other semi-final. We're waiting for that match to finish, and once that game's finished we'll get on to the final, which will of course be streamed. So Danny Bowen is, I believe, your first finalist. I'm just having a look around the room to see if I can get any firm confirmation of that. Pretty sure there'll be some celebrations in the Pinelli household tonight, though. So one of their own has won a title. And it is so great as well to see so many of the Pinelli family here to watch one of their own play. Because many of them were playing anyway, but then, of course, those who who got knocked out actually stayed to watch the players who were still in. So Sophia had all of her family there to watch, which obviously adds an extra, a little bit to your game, doesn't it? When you know you've got your loved ones watching, and by extension when you've got your teammates watching as well. If you've got a few of your teammates behind you to watch your game, then you feel a bit more power from that. So you see at the bottom, or at the left hand side of your screen, the people still here watching the second semi-final, which is still in progress. You don't know a score. Okay, so I've got a score now. So Chris Geary currently leads 3-1 over Paul Blackler. Two of the guys that I picked, well, Chris I picked as one of the players who could go on and win it, and I actually had Paul as a dark horse, and so they've meeting in the semi-finals. So it's quite good that when I do pick someone who might go on and win it, they actually do their best to go on and win it. Because I'm not usually the best at picking which players are going to go on and win a tournament. You had Danny and Chris. Well, yeah, we did also speak about Danny, didn't we? Even though obviously he wasn't at his best yesterday, that's yesterday. You know how much he likes to fire up for these big games, and it could very well be a Danny versus Chris final, and that would be mouth-watering in many ways because of the fact that they play a very different style of game. Because Danny's quite out there and quite aggressive and more likely to take the game on, whereas Chris, whilst when he's on, he's excellent at making things happen, is more of a circumspect type player. He's more of a player who likes to try to control the narrative. Danny tries to wrest the narrative off you, whereas Chris is more trying to control it from the start. At the moment, Danny Bowen, I believe, awaiting the winner of the game between Chris Geary and Paul Blackler to play in the final. So, as far as we know, Danny Bowen's already in the final, but the second semi is still being played. So Chris just on to his last few balls now. Paul, having attempted to double his last ball to get onto the black for a double, has missed it. And Chris has, I believe, got 5 overs and the black to go. First one is not necessarily easy though, so if he can make that, then that should open the rest of the table up for him. Paul Chivers there just wandering through the middle of your screen.
The tide was out, sorry about that. Condition comfort of the commentary box.
Yep.
Also got some snacks coming, so.
Oh, do you now?
Yeah.
Nice.
Sharing snacks.
Alright, so we also need to acknowledge the people who volunteer their time to do little things like what Matt's just doing here. Just packing all the balls up,
Big
covering
shout
the
out
tables.
to Matt Lee for all of his time that he spent. I know him, a few of the others were here really early. Probably they got here just after we finished. To set up table 21 and 22 in the top.
Yeah.
Corner. So I know Henry and Matt. There's probably a few others that were here setting those up and changing the config of the room. So yeah, awesome work from those guys this morning. So thank you very much. I realised how long the day it was for everybody.
Hang on. Sorry. Say that again.
You muted me.
I did not. That was Paul.
Paul. So basically, this morning I was having a chat. I don't know if you heard the gist of all of that conversation through through John's mic. Henry, Matt Lee, and a couple others I think were setting up, added 21 and 22 at the top left-hand corner of the screen, and reconfigured all of the tables over a little bit to allow room for them this morning, just because of how slow and impacted we were yesterday with the field. So I think that the extra 2 tables did make a big difference today. So
They did, and well, the reason why we couldn't have those 2 tables in yesterday is because they had an after funeral function or a wake in the other room. So we couldn't gain access to that room. We couldn't actually get the tables
the
through.
garden bar. We couldn't get into the garden bar.
So unfortunately that not being available for us meant that we were playing on 20 tables yesterday, which was unfortunately not quite adequate for finishing on time. Okay, what's happened here? I think Chris must have won that game because he's walking away from the table and Murray's walking towards the...
Chris was up 3-1 when I went downstairs.
Oh, hang on.
Yeah, we do. Yes.
Chris.
Yeah, it's Dan versus Chris. Yep. So I was just about to tell you that we were right about the Daniel Bowen game because he won his game really quickly, 4-0.
Oh,
and
okay,
then
he's absolutely...
Yeah. He said that he got... Was he playing Tristan?
Yeah, Tristan Matheson.
Yeah. So he said that it was over quick, but he felt like Tristan did get unlucky at times, and he just capitalised. So that was the reason for the quick game on the Daniel Bowen front. And then Chris Geary just beat Paul Blackcliff I believe it was 4-1. So Chris not only playing pool but also doing some of the dishes here in the background. So shout out to Chris for sorting out the club and getting stuff around. I think he was just moving his little station. He's going to find himself in the corner there. Just below the Open Singles 8-ball logo. High-fiving.
Still waiting to hear what we're racing to.
High-fiving Silla and Ali.
Whether
Desmond?
it's 4 or 5.
I'm not sure that aspect of it. So
okay, so we'll leave that as it is. I'm just going to nip off to the loo quickly. You reckon you'd be okay to field that question that Shannon's just asked?
How come they don't use pop blacks like they did in Invercargill instead of these Onkyu ones? Well, there's positives and pluses and minuses, but in Canterbury, Onkyu is the store and the maker, being like a Canterbury table supplier, and also the people who do all the streaming, and Daryl's spent a bunch of money on that. So yeah, Onkyu is Canterbury, and I guess Canterbury is Onkyu. So yeah, hopefully that answers that pretty clearly. We did enjoy playing on the Pot Blacks in Invercargill. The setup was nice, but the cut's very different. I found they played very different, and like at a slow pace, the Pot Blacks are very forgiving, where I don't feel the Onkyu cut is exactly the same. So I guess I'd beg to differ that I'd prefer the Onkyu table, but I guess that's just what we play on. So whatever is your creature comfort at home would probably be your preference, I guess. The Bowies guys in Dunedin play on the Excellence 7-footers, so they probably would say that they prefer those. So much of a muchness throughout. Up north the Excellence tables are a bit more predominant in Hamilton and whatnot. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question, Shannon. But yeah, Onkyu do a lot, not only for different bits and pieces around, but a lot of effort goes into supplying stuff and setting up and having stuff available for us through Onkyu. So in Canterbury and through our tournaments, I don't think it'd be possible without the support of Daryl and the team there. So shout out to them. Yeah, Kahui. The final is about to be underway. They're just doing some admin work around here and there and giving Chris Geary a couple of minutes to have a break. That also gives us some time in the comm box to hopefully get some food, which would be nice. So Chris Geary versus Danny Bowen. So all gold final yet again. Cashmere Gold dominating.
There's someone that does it. They've done a lot of work.
Yep. Yeah, we were talking yourself, Matt Lee, Henry was here this morning early. Who else? Were you here early?
I didn't get here as
them? Because they were putting tables up and stuff. Do you know who else was around at that time?
Kerry
Lowe?
And Tracy were both here at 6 o'clock this morning.
Okay.
I don't know who else.
So
Murray probably.
Kerry, Tracy, Murray, the crew here. There's probably some staff members that were here early, kind of doing stuff here and there and getting stuff ready. So big effort from a bunch of people across the board. The refs, I know Ronnie's been here forever today. Feet are getting quite tired.
So is Nicole Wright as well. I mean, she was telling me last year at the Canterbury's, at the South Islands, how many kilometres she puts in just doing refereeing.
Mm-hmm.
And she reckons in excess of 10,000 steps just refereeing for a day. And when you spend all that time on your feet,
yep,
it must wear into you.
Yeah, well, you see over the time Ronnie's gone from his shiny fancy shoes into his more comfortable black shoes there, so that'll give you an indication of how long they've spent on their feet. And at the end of the tournament, they've got their comfy black shoes on, ready to go for the last game.
Well, one thing you also tend to see as well is this is a different game, of course, but with cricket umpires as well, because they're on their feet all day, obviously refereeing a cricket match, and you're having to stand in one spot basically for a length of time, and then standing in a different spot for a length of time,
Mhm.
obviously because you've got different umpiring positions, you often go through different shoes at different times of the day. So for one session you might wear one pair of shoes,
Mhm.
but then you might change your shoes to a different pair just so that so you're always wearing fresh shoes, so to speak.
Yep. You get.
Otherwise you start getting sore feet and what have you.
The flight, John, was a battle between Sua Elua and Peter de Groot, and Peter de Groot took that out. I think I can't tell you what the score was. It looked like it was 4-1 or 4-2.
I just want to add a little thing just after Murray's finished. What is that?
Where's everybody gone?
Is that Hannah pulling up to watch the final?
Yep.
In the middle of your screen.
Well, she's having to have.
Oh yeah, because you're driving home. That's
Her
all right.
taxi's in the commentary box. Shout out to Hannah for
taxi.
Shout out. Yeah, the rowdy Uber.
I'm still trying to find that out, but at the moment we'll leave it at 4. But I'll
You've texted.
I'll message Trace.
Yeah. So
I just want to quickly answer that, or just put my own little spin on that question that Shannon asked. I think the basic reason why is because OnQ have headquarters in Christchurch, so they basically have almost all of the tables that are played on in.
yeah.
John.
The dude, I told the dude to come upstairs.
Yeah, but does he know where that is? But yeah, just quickly before Chris breaks, OnQ basically is the dominant table in Christchurch because OnQ have headquarters here. Pot Black more prevalent in Southland and Otago, and in many places up north, but Christchurch is very much OnQ country. But I like both tables, to be honest. It's hard to pick between favourites I don't want to pick a favourite between OnQ tables and Pot Blacks because they both play really well. So Chris Geary, having broken successfully, is immediately into his work on the unders. And Ronnie's just here wearing his black, more comfy dress shoes, just officiating over this because of the proximity of the 5 to the 12. Ooh. And all these balls actually connect into each other, so if Chris can just get this past the 14 and just slide over enough to be on the 1, then he'll be all golden here.
Oh,
Lovely weight.
not only that, the pause on the 1's awesome.
So the 7 does appear to actually go below the black, so he might just go 1, 2, 7 here.
Yep.
He's just got to be sure that he can actually draw this back for the 7 and not go into the rail so
He might
much.
go forward.
Well, he might do. He's got to be careful he doesn't get hooked behind the 11 though.
Forward, look left. Yep.
Just a wee bit of stun here, I think.
Okay.
Just enough to come out, because you didn't need to go that far, or too far. Where he is now is perfect. He just needs to make sure he gets the pot, and that he comes off the rail enough for the 8.
Here we go.
You can see how measured this is too. Just on the black here, we'll wait for this to drop, you would think, and it does. So 1-0 in not too much time, Chris Geary. But you can see the measured approach that Chris had to that frame, which is not as much Daniel's way of playing. I mean, Danny Bowen, if he'd had that frame himself, he probably would have played it a similar way, but he would have played it maybe with a little more panache
A little bit more flair.
Yeah, he's more of a flair player than Chris is, but it's going to be interesting to see how these two play styles collide.
I feel like this match is just going to be like two heavyweights just slugging it out.
Yeah, just trying to throw punches at each other.
It's just
and
whoever's
whoever
going to
falls.
Yep. Good break there.
Oh, get out of it, 13. Ooh.
Yuck. How do you start in bigs here?
4-ball plant. Stenny Bowen, why not?
Yeah, yeah.
Or even just off the back of the 9 into the... Yeah, off the back of the 9. There you go. He's ugly the 9 up here, but he's got the 12 there to maybe get it out if he wants to. I don't know if he's got enough room with the side.
He's just going to lift this out and don't touch the 12.
Yeah, whether he can get into this enough. Yeah, he can. Well done. No, I don't think it was.
Cut here and come under the 7.
Danny's honey. It's now...
You can see both of these two are really in the mood because they've just...
They're just down to it, aren't they? Down to business.
Game. Yeah.
Not here to faff with spiders, either of these two. Good to see you there, Courtney, to support your man. Yeah, we'll try our best not to. It's a bit difficult when everything's so close to the mic.
Oh, that's good.
Runs out nicely for the 13 here, and it will have to be the 13 because the 11 doesn't pass. So if he can just play a stun shot here. Oh, he jabbed at it. Oh, he jabbed at it. Okay. Could that be the first flinch of this game? Because they were all there to take, and Danny's usually pretty solid on those. Good evening to you too, Ryan. I see John's doing his absolute best to not eat near the microphone. That's a big ball to take first, and whilst he's got the plant, this is still not an easy make here.
Somebody's put my name there. Choice.
Got to play this silently.
Oh,
see, there's another attempt at a cut that goes well wide and well fat. Hello to you too. Oh, just imagine if he can get in there. You could see where he was shadow queuing between the 5 and the 13.
You reckon he can bend it? He's going to try and bend it, isn't he?
Yeah, try and bend it into either the 5 or the 13 and release
if you could
one ball for the other or the 13
If you
for
could
itself.
hit the top side of that 5 and the 13 would just go towards the pocket,
That'd be magic, wouldn't it?
It's Danny. Here we go.
He's not exactly shy though, is he? Oh, we got it.
Good enough.
Oh, that's a great shot. If it's straight, he's a bit unlucky, but I'm pretty sure he'll take on whatever he's given here. If this has any sort of angle, you bet he'll be using it to the max here.
Mm-hmm.
But it looks to me like he's just going to take what he's given, really. Yeah, he's not even going to bother trying to improve that. Just make sure you make the pot.
You got 3 balls there that if the 8's over the bucket, it's hard for Chris to move them all. He's probably not going to.
No, he's played it slow.
Oh,
Jesus, that's a bad miss. Tell you what, that's not the normal way that we'd see him play that. I just wonder if that could be nerves.
I was just saying, like, I wouldn't. You'd hardly ever see Danny roll that softly.
Normally when he rolls them like that, he plays it even still with more confidence than that. That was almost a nervous sort of shot.
Chris can see the 5 here we're on.
I think he'll be trying to move the 5 and the 6 here. You try to promote the 5, and this is slightly awkward to cue as well. And I quite like the fact that he's decided to use the 6 and the 1 and even the 5 there as obstacles for queuing. Danny's got history of doing this. You've got to be careful. Just having his hands in the wrong place. That was a decent effort, but these are all on for Chris. I tell you what, the 4 first, bump the 2 out, make that 2 more available, and then get to work. Right, so if he's got any sort of room here on the 7, then it's probably what he'll be playing. Because otherwise what happens is that you'd play the 2 and try to then play the 7, but you've got enough angle on the 7 here. Yes, you just shoot it in. No, this is... What are you talking about? This is not the plate final. The unfortunate part for Chris here is that he's overran this, but he will now be thinking of how can I leave this safe in case it doesn't go. I'm going to play the plant, and if this doesn't go, then how can I leave it safe?
Not bad.
No, that's terrible. He's ended up snookering him.
Yeah.
I just wonder if the 6 into the 5 might have been a better plant option, and try to get the cue ball past the 2 of them. That's a lovely drain from Dan there. And that's pretty simple. That's just like shelling peas. So 1 frame apiece.
Chris kind of just struggled with those 3 and that cluster at the top, that whole...
Yeah, that whole match really. He could have promoted the 5 better than he did the first time around, but even so, he still made the primary objective. He just couldn't quite get back to it when it mattered.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right, just fix the score.
Still race to 4?
Yeah.
So we are still racing to 4. I believe the players would have been given the option to. I mean, that's generally the way it works.
Yep. They're quite crunchy. It's nachos.
As you can all hear. You see what Ronnie's doing there. He's just cleaning the cue ball. So obviously what you do not want as a player is to be cueing where a chalk spot is, because if you do that, then you're liable to have kicks. And also, when the cue ball rolls, if a part of the cue ball with chalk on it contacts the object ball, that object ball will get kicked, because you've got an imperfect surface with the chalk on it hitting basically a perfect surface with the clean object ball, and you don't get a good clean connection, if that makes any sense. You are an absolute stirrer, Kerry.
Yep.
Just make sure you take your plates down. No, first.
Sure.
Interesting to see how he works the 11 and the 13 here. He wants to leave himself just enough angle on the 10. But then where does he want the 13? Does he want to try and hit as much of it as he can and drive it into the rail and into the 7 to push the 7 away? He needs to almost draw back and hit the 13 on the way by if he's going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And if he's going to do that, he needs to be careful that he doesn't go behind the 8. He's actually hit the other side of it, but this could work just as well. He's uglied up the 7 and the 3 somewhat. I believe this still goes in the middle in the corner here.
The 3 still pops.
I don't think Chris will be worried about that, to be honest. He'll only have eyes for the pocket here.
Top left?
I'd be, top left. I don't think the middle's on, but it's not worth it.
Nope.
He has at least left the ball over the hole, so if Danny doesn't finish, you'd think Dan's odds on to finish the way he's playing, but if he doesn't finish, then that being over the hole is a good thing.
Yep.
And it also adds a bit of pressure too. I mean, we've seen Dan miss a fairly easy ball before in the previous frame, so we'll get to see where his head's at right here. So immediately working into bulk for the 6, so you can see where his head lies. Wants to get rid of this because it's an outlier. And then get himself back towards the dance floor where all of his other work is. If the 3's on now, he might just take it, because he's gotten slid a bit far for the 2. The 2 will still cut, which it has done. He's played it. Oh, he wanted to be on the 1. Oh dear. I'm not sure if the 3 slices in, but he thinks it does. Okay, it was more on than we thought it was.
Yep. He just didn't like the bridging over that 8 before, that's why he went the other way.
So these should be all pretty simple.
You were talking about the bridging before, so...
Yeah.
He
needs to pick a pocket for the 5 here. It is the middle. It is the middle, and that'll do just nicely. So he could either go middle to the middle, or
just pull this back.
Middle and pull it back for the corner.
Oh, no.
Oh hell, he's lost the cue ball a bit there. This will still cut to the middle though. And in fact, that cutting back to the middle should eliminate the in-off if he hits it right. Oh, that's pulled in. You see the net come into play there.
Look at him look up to the heavens.
You could see the nap come into play there. It just at the beginning. Just needs this to not be on the rail to make this as easy as possible. These niggly little shots on the rail. It looks very simple.
Yep. And
Chris has played it actually quite well. But sometimes players, they try to hit as much of that ball as they can to make sure it goes. Whereas you don't need to, because the ball's so close to the hole, you can cheat the pocket and not follow it in. So Chris Geary 2-1 up over Dan Bowen. John just trying to make it easier to make sure that the right screen is activated. I think he must have gotten a crash course in how the setup works.
Yep, just turning off my microphone so you can't hear chip vision.
Alright, so fourth frame, Danny to break, trailing 2-1. That's a monster break. Jesus, he got 4 big ones off the break, but he's going to have to take littles here. This could be a 12-ball clearance, John.
Right.
He got 3 overs off the break, but he's had to go smalls.
Danny's break is quite massive. That cue is just so whippy.
Well, as long as the 4's on, he's okay. He's a bit cuddly to the black, but if the 4's on, then everything should be fine.
In and out of bulk for the 1.
Yep. This time he does negotiate the middle pocket well.
Yep. Zip this up the rail for the 5-2.
Assuming the angle's there, yes. Which it is. Don't think he wants to be straight here. Just enough angle to get back for the 2 for roughly the same shot as he's got on the 5.
Oh,
See, there you go.
that was
There's
awesome.
a bit of killing.
Didn't think he had angle there, but just
He made it.
made some.
Threw it in.
And then 8 to what, the bottom left?
Oh, I would say so, yes. I don't think he's wanting to play into the middles right now. If he can help
so
it.
soon.
Yeah, it's too soon. So this for 2 little ducks. Oh, he's missed it again. Cue ball was okay, but the fact that the black's still on the table will whet Chris's appetite.
Sometimes these are those shots that you don't think that you'd have in a frame, and now we get to see kind of how Chris can answer getting a snuff.
No, this is where you pick the shot that you're most comfortable with. See, for me here, it'd be the 14 cutting into the middle.
Okay.
That's my shot. I think Chris looks like he's going to play a safety here. He's really got to hit this slow if he's going to do that. Well, that works. He might be a bit lucky there.
Danny's going to go the middle.
Or he can jack up on it
or
slightly
top
and
left.
kick it into the top left corner.
Or top left.
These are the shots that Dan actually plays quite well. Is that
top
that
left.
jack up shot? It's because he cues it really crisply, even with the closeness of the cue ball and the object ball.
Yep.
He still puts a good cue on it.
I reckon he's looking at the middle.
He's thinking about the middle, but
Or is he looking at
I presume he's going to
he looking-
take the middle away and try to jack up and put it in the top.
Try not to be crazy here, but is he looking at the 15 carom to the middle?
I
8,
would-
15 to the middle. So off the 15.
Yeah. No, I don't think he's that crazy. Top right pocket's also possible. Okay, he's going to try to do us all a disservice there.
Did he block off the 15?
That was the object of the game, yes.
I don't think he did.
Well, the question is, can Chris see enough of that to put it in the top pocket? Because that's the pocket that it will most likely go in if he can see enough of it. So I'm pretty sure Danny would have been thinking a few times of having a go at that black,
Yep.
and then realising it probably wasn't the right shot.
Don't know if Chris...
That's unfortunate.
That's unlucky.
There's only one good shot away potentially though from having a foot in to win this frame. If he plays through this, and he could very well leave the black on the top rail. Well, it's the top rail from the table point of view, but it's the bottom rail on our screen. If he can leave the cue ball on the bottom rail, whether he pots it or misses it, then either he's going to get a good enough shot at 14, or he's going to leave an awkward shot for Dan.
Moving the advertising hoardings.
Yeah, because he wants to get enough room to actually walk into the shot. He needs to be thinking as much cue ball as the pot here. He's missed that by a mile, and that's not going to be good enough.
I think he was just trying to play safe there and get it down on that corner. No, then he's just going to flick this in.
Yeah, you can see all the English he put on it to avoid running into the 9, so good little play there, and we've got a tied final once again.
Back on the hill. We had so many of these games go hill, so it'd be interesting to see if this goes that way as well.
I love it. You know how much I love a hill match. I go crazy every time.
Best of one. It's not sounding like it's letting up outside either.
No, there was a rain event forecast, which is not such great news for me.
Yeah.
For my work, but
Cody, good to see you watching, mate. Good break there from Chris.
Breaks have been good from both players, in fact. Chris breaking and clearing the first frame, and then he should have broken cleared the second frame, but he ended up winning the frame. And then Chris managing to work his way to the third frame, and then Danny pinching the fourth one, so that's where we sit. It's not altogether unexpected, Cody, because Cashmere Gold did build quite a few players for this game, and they've got a mean team this year. I mean, these two players are obviously two of the best players in Canterbury, obviously, but also you had the likes of Jason Keats in this. Ruben's a good up-and-comer. Jojo Coleman, obviously, and there's Marianne. So they had a lot of players who were capable of going deep. These two obviously have managed to run the length of the tournament, and now this game for all the cheese. I mean, you had the stickmen as well, but they didn't actually have that many players playing this, which is a bit unusual.
Well, you're missing
most of their side, weren't you?
Plus you're missing Adam, so Adam would normally be here.
Negotiated that quite well.
How are we getting on to the 10?
Yeah, that's the problem, isn't it?
Is he just going to try and get back to the 2 and take that cut?
Well, he might try to go off 2 rails, or even 1 rail, and try to get to the right-hand side of the 2 and take that hard cut as it is.
Otherwise the zigzag up past the 4.
Oh, if that had hit something, that would have been just fine.
Yeah.
But it's ended up swinging at nothing. Cody Turner, for those of you who don't know, played a season for Cashmere Gold before moving back to Wellington.
Yeah, before he left us.
Well, this is danger time. Got a wide open table here. Just needs to find in which way to connect the dots.
Yep, nice little nudge.
See, now the big question is, at what point do you think about
the 6?
The shot on the 6? Do you think about trying to promote the 6, or do you think about playing for a double?
I really
on the
think
6?
Looking at that, he's promoting the 6, so he'll go 4, get an angle, maybe off the 3, and then go 1 into the 6, land for the 5.
If he's just off angle on the 3 here, he may try to play it now, or play just off angle on the 1 so he can draw back into the 6 and still be on the 5.
Mm-hmm.
See, if he draws back into the 6 and the 6 is still on the rail, as long as he hits it nice and full, he'll still be on the 5. If he flicks off the 6, then he runs the risk of being on neither ball.
You want
He's also
rail
got
or
the
full 6?
He's also got the 5 just off angle that he may. Some players would play that and try and hit the 6 full ball and get it out. So there's a number of ways he could have played that. He's just decided to play for the 5 and then
He's just
use in and out of bulk for the 6.
This might even just draw back.
Oh no, he's drawing back. Okay.
Yep.
So he's nice and straight enough that he can draw.
Just roll this in.
You're right. You either play this with top or just a touch of stun.
Oof.
Yeah, that's
Nice.
lovely. Lovely confident pop down the rail.
That bit
and
of stun
this-
also took it off the rail too.
Yeah, this to get onto the hill. And this time there are no dramas on the black. Yeah, and I think people were reminding him about it
We're
too.
giving him a bit of a roast, so
I think that was Danny yelling out, "Come on, gold," even though he's not wearing his Cashmere gold shirt.
I think that was actually Matt Lee that yelled out, come on, gold in the background.
Oh yeah, he plays for gold too.
Yeah. So
Here we go, 3-2. Danny Bowen also has the advantage of having the break, and his break's been going really well, so can he finally break and clear a frame? He's threatened to do so and not done it, so this time would be a better time than any to break and dish for the win. So we just
massive break last time, so this might be key.
just got to make sure that he keeps the cue ball on the table. Yeah, good connection. The cue ball went straight up and back. Something that Simon Singleton sometimes struggles with is his break, and Danny today, and from what we have seen, his break's been going swimmingly, which is why he's having opportunities like this.
Thanks.
Definitely. Oh, he's ended up swung at nothing. He was looking to promote something there, and he ended up getting through everything.
Got onto the 13. He'd go in the triple plant.
3 ball plant. Okay. Come
Why
on,
not? Why not?
if he's on the 15, it's good.
He might leave that 15 there for another plant.
I would too, if he can't get a good way out of this. I mean, it depends on how he's thinking. I mean,
That
he's a
14
very
will just
aggressive
go-
player, so I wouldn't.
That 14 will just go through there if he gets
Yeah.
angle anyway, so
So I wouldn't be. I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd taken the 15 here.
roll the 12, get on the 13. Yep.
Excellent cue ball control that, because it's so easy to end up in bulk.
Yep, 13. Pick that little tiny window, okay?
Well, if he doesn't quite get there,
He might
he's
get
just
the
got to
15.
avoid the 7. As
Yeah.
long as he's away from the 7, then either of those 2 balls is on. He wants the plant though. That's the shot that he's playing for. So he's okay. He can play it if he wants to.
Where's this?
The problem is that where's your cue ball going after you play this shot? If you play the 15 as is,
Does the 14 go back to the middle?
it could do, but
Yeah,
I don't think
hasn't looked
the
at it.
15's too far away. Oh, it's too close to the rail, I should say, for that.
Into the 6?
Oh dear.
But hard. Bugger.
If he'd collected the 7 on the way too, that would have been fine, but
little-
jeez, this is getting hairy. Now do you try and tie that up?
Do we just put it in front of the 8?
You tie that up, that's what I'd be doing. Doesn't look like there's a double on there, so I think you just try to mix this up with the 8.
Yep. Good enough.
Well, the ball's on too,
Yep.
isn't it? You lessen your chance of a free ball here, but you at least leave the 14 more accessible for yourself. Because you know that Chris has got options to play to not leave you snookered.
Chris might try and get this 2 down over the bucket.
He's looking at the 7 here, so I mean he's looking
And
at
an
the
out,
aggressive option too.
We're going out here.
You got to ask the question, of course. If you're trying to play a ball over that pocket where the 14 is, you've got to watch where your cue ball runs because of the threat of the snooker.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't even think it's worth playing that unless you are
You're just
sure
gonna
you
put it-
can get it.
Get a little nick on the 3. Nope.
Well, they're still there for him, aren't
Mhm.
they? But he's fast running out of good balls to play.
The 6 might be like the last ball that he just leaves over the bottom
Roll
right.
over the hole, yeah.
Just how are we getting onto the 3?
I don't think he's worried about that at this point, unless he's
Or
going
is
to
it
play
doing
the
it
3
now?
now.
Like
If
cut
he's-
it and then back over towards the...
Double and screw back, I reckon. You double and screw back to behind the black spot. So you want him to be near that bottom rail on your screen in the black spot.
So he's going to land on the 6 here.
Yeah, there you go, look.
Yep.
So now you've got the option, do you want to take this on and go for the finish, which I don't think is there, or do you
Or-
play it safe and put this over the bag? I
We'll
bet
see
he
how
puts
he's
this over
feeling.
the bag.
We'll see how he's feeling.
See, that's okay. Now, he hasn't put it over the bag, but this is still a nasty shot for Dan, and
Just
Dan's got to find a way that he can play this, still leave the 14 nice and open for
You just
himself.
kick at the rail here and stick it in behind the 14.
If there's enough ball to go
If there's
behind,
if
yes.
there's a gap, it's really hard to tell.
Well, the one being where it is
Or do you
good
just
for Dan here.
or do you just roll up onto the 14 and kick it onto the back of the 8 and then just leave him the 6?
I think you just leave him 6. Now is when you're thinking about
It's
maybe
triple.
snookers.
We're looking at the triple.
He's not going up and behind and trying to triple it, is he? He's going to try and Hopoate triple this ball. That's what
I
we're
don't-
saying,
Don't.
but I don't
I
think.
reckon this clears. It must clear. He's moving. Just roll it out. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that
So
was a
You
shot.
covered the 1.
He had us thinking about that, didn't he? Because he was queuing it up like it was going to go, but now I think for Chris, he's just got to cover the 8 up
Yeah.
here.
So you play this onto the rail by the white.
Oh, no, that's inviting a wolf into your house. This doubles. You double that and get on the black, then look out. That's the angle of the cue ball that he's tracing there. He's actually played that really well.
Yeah, and locked off the 1 again.
Just goes to show you that brains go a long way in this game.
It's a good,
Game smarts.
good little battle.
I'm just wondering if the 14 passes the 1 here. You did right, John. If it doesn't, then does Chris just flick off the 6 and leave the cue ball sort of in line with those 2 balls?
Oh, the 1 might be.
The 1 might be visible here. Oh no, okay.
Interesting.
Very. This
Yes, sir.
has every opportunity to go very wrong for Dan, and that's probably what Chris is playing on here.
So this is back to that rail first one that we had for, I think it was Sophia last time. Where if we go rail, you can get this in and probably come around for the 8. He might not.
I think he's
he's
looking
just
to
gone
cut it
that
in
way
the
and pull.
bottom left. Oh, he went for the jugular. He went for it, and he might not get another shot in the frame.
Nope. I think you called for it. You're having a want for some bonus pull.
I did, and I do, as a neutral viewer. Right, now, you've got what you want. You can see him just shake as he walks around.
Loosen off.
Just to loosen himself off, because he's been here before. He just needs to get his weight right on this. Cut this in, just get past the black.
Yep.
That'll do just nicely. And then just roll this in. Don't even worry about the 14, just roll it in. Just like so, and yes, we have bonus pull.
Bonus pull. To have gone the length of the tournament to get a fourth frame decider who can get to the fourth frame.
Righty, so Danny had the opportunity to break and finish in the previous frame, didn't take it. Chris Geary, however, started this match with a break and clear. Can he end it the same way?
It's kind of one of those things where you want to be the person having that break in the last frame, isn't it?
Definitely. Most definitely. If you had the choice and you asked 100 players, whether it's a race to 99 or a race to 4, do you want to be hill and breaking the last frame? I would say 99 players would say yes. And then you'd question the one who says no. Because if you're going through this tournament to get to this point, then your break must be working at least okay. Has Chris got another big break left in him?
Here we go, the final chapter.
Oh, that cue ball very nearly went in, but it got kicked out. So it is a successful break, and you see Chris just maybe taking a bit of time to decompress after that, because that could have so easily gone the other way.
What are you seeing, John?
Probably the unders, to be fair. That plant doesn't go. And
is the 7 the starter?
Yes. Only problem now, I think, for here is possibly the 5. He's gone and done that. If the 5 passes the 2, then
it's got a good angle.
This is a big opportunity to clear.
The one goes to the middle of the 13.
True. But I do think that the 5 passes the 2. I'd say this would have come up into consideration when he was first at the table.
If it didn't, he'd
be kicking himself if this doesn't go. I mean, this is one of those big ones that you have to make, though. Which he has. Boom. Tell you what, he's got options here.
Have some of that.
Could play the 1 now if he wants to and remove that from the equation.
Yep.
Because you know with that 10 sitting there...
The angle's really good for the 1 here.
Because you knew with that 10 sitting there that it was going to be hard to get onto for conviction for another ball. Now the focus turns to the 3. Not this shot, but how are you going to reverse engineer to get back to it? This is where you look at the balls that are on the table and think to yourself, okay, which ball am I best suited to get on if I try to promote the 3 or get good position on it and I don't get it? For me, I think if you play the 6 now, to get the 3-all, to move the 3, and you don't, at the very least you'll have a shot on the 4.
I think we're
and you'll
thinking
get another chance.
the 3 to the middle is what he's been looking at from how I can...
Yeah, he goes to the middle, which he could take now. He's just got to be careful of how this table naps if he's going to take that shot. This is why you would be thinking maybe corner.
I think the middle here will give him enough angle on the 4 to be able to pot it.
You get about the same angle no matter which way you played this. I think it's just picking the pocket that suits your play. Looks like he's going for the middle, okay.
Roll it. There you go.
That's a lovely bit of killing, because that is not an easy shot on this table.
So where's this white going?
I reckon you'll be looking for one... I'd say probably one
Reckon he's
rail.
got
This has got to be a speed shot. He does not want to go behind the 10. I think
You
the
reckon
10's
there's
the
enough-
biggest problem here.
Reckon there's enough angle to come past the 8?
I would almost be tempted to try and go into the 8 here, if you're not confident you can go around it. Yeah, he's gone into it. And
There you
look
go.
at that for a result. Look at what it means. You just got to do one more of those, and he will be a Canterbury champion.
Chris Geary.
There you go, Chris Geary. It's a primal scream. Starts with a break and clear,
Ends with
finishes with a break and clear. So here's your new Open Singles champion for Canterbury.
Well done.
Well, thank you, lads.
Sweet. I'm going to do a wrap up and then we'll smash these ships and go home.
Danny's.
Yep.
I mean, all of that's just for show, really. I mean, he'll be... Part of him will be disappointed, but in equal measure, he'll be happy to have gotten to the final. But it's been what a great final it ended up being, and what a great tournament it's ended up being.
Both played really well.
I mean, it was just what you want in a final, wasn't it?
Yep.
Attacking play, great pull, great shots, good shot selection when the finish wasn't there.
Not very many missed pots out of
No.
era. More, I guess, loose safeties, but everything was pretty well played at, which was awesome to see after such a long day.
Yeah, that the players have been able to recharge as needed to still be fresh for the final. I mean, that's the big thing, isn't it? You got to, in big tournaments when you're playing 9 to 12 to 14 hours in a day, in some tournaments, you get up to your 12 and 14 hours a day. You've got to find what works for you to keep yourself in that good mindset and hydrated and full of energy. Because so often the players that win are the ones that are feeling the best at the time, not necessarily the ones that are playing the best, but it's the players who are feeling the best. And if you've got good energy at this point in the tournament and you've got a good positive mindset, then that can really help you.
I felt like I saw that in Danny today, so just pipped at the post, but
Yeah, I mean, both players actually kept themselves in the day quite well, didn't they?
yep. You saw Chris sitting there, taking some time out, and he was kind of alone a little bit, focusing, thinking of like the plan and how he was going to go about his game. So yeah, it was quite cool to see that they both were there in the final and did an awesome job.
They did, and it was great to actually see both players fronting up for the final too.
Yeah, they both played really well.
And they both played really well, and whoever won that game was a deserved champion.
So I guess we'll close up here. Thank you very much for tuning in, and congratulations again to both finalists. Well done, Chris Geary, for taking it out.
Indeed, and to all of the players who have put their names forward to play in this event, well done to you all for making this such a...
We're still good.
Okay,
It's unplugged.
but well done to all of you players for making this event so fantastic. And everybody who's had anything to do with this, you see all the people who have supported and all the people who have selflessly given their time up to do whatever it is that they need to do. Thank you to all of you. Obviously On Cue and the Cashmere Club.
And all the sponsors for today.
Yep. Didn't see a sponsors list, but thank you to all of you. But yeah, that wraps us up for another year for the Canterburys, and bring on the Canterbury Pairs in 2 months' time. So thanks to all of you. Get home safe. We'll see you the next time. Ka kite.
Have a good day.